Pandarosh present.
Spoiled Rotten
by Mohamed Elagoza.
Part 2.
Mustafa feels relieved after talking to Malika and starts getting closer to her. He always wants to talk to her and see her, feeling that she is the only one who can lift him out of his bad mood and put him in a completely different and good mood. In the midst of his thoughts about Malika, he receives a message from Talia on WhatsApp, where she is flirting with him, being affectionate, and asking him to go out for dinner together after work. It seems like she wants to mend their relationship. After some thought, he agrees despite not wanting to go out with her. And while they are out, Talia asks him the question that most Egyptian wives ask their husbands.
Mustafa, do you still love me like you did when we first met?
Mustafa becomes flustered and suddenly feels trapped. He tries to avoid answering but couldn't. He reluctantly gives the same answer that any Egyptian husband would give in this situation.
Of course I do. But I feel like you've changed. Not like before marriage.
Mustafa's words made Talia very upset, telling him that he is the one who changed, and she no longer understands him or knows how to please him. Before the argument escalates further, Mustafa stood up to escape the argument with Talia and also to talk to Malika and hear her voice. His conversation with Malika was all flirtation and romance, especially after he started feeling that she was the one who eased his mind and changed his mood for the better. At the end of the call, he asked to meet her on Sunday after work. The relationship between Mustafa and Talia became very formal. Even during the weekend, each one was glued to their phone, browsing through it. Mustafa's thoughts were scattered. He didn't know what Malika would do with him tomorrow after work. Would she agree to meet him or not? He decided not to go to the office and finish the errands behind him so as not to engage in any conversations with Malika. The next day after work, Mustafa meets Malika as they agreed.
Whenever I talk to you or see you, I forget all the stress and sadness.
Don't you think that your problems with Talia are why you're feeling this way?
No, I don't think so. I thought about it a lot and I realized that I love you, Lika. I think I rushed myself into marriage with Talia, and I'm now unable to end this relationship with her because she's pregnant.
I also recently came out of a breakup, and I haven't recovered yet. I need time to decide.
They agreed to give themselves a chance to get closer and understand each other better until they can reach a decision. Talia has taken on an oval shape and is having difficulty moving around. The due date is approaching, prompting Talia to decide to stay with her mother until she gives birth. She asks Mustafa to come and stay with her during this period because she will need to feel his support, especially as it's their first child and they need to go through everything together. However, he refuses, telling her he wouldn't be comfortable there. He promises to call her every day and assures her he will come immediately if needed. Talia is upset by Mustafa's lack of concern for her feelings, especially during this difficult time, but he believes she is exaggerating. Events unfold rapidly, just as there was a psychological change in Talia's appearance and size due to nearing childbirth. It seemed there was also a different kind of change in Mustafa's work. Mustafa and Malika have gotten very close. They have breakfast together and spend most of their time together. However, they try not to let any of their colleagues notice their relationship. Mustafa agrees with Malika to have dinner together after he drops Talia off at her mother's place. At the call of prayer for Asr ends, Mustafa visibly shows tension due to the limited time. As soon as Mustafa finishes his work, he calls Talia to prepare herself. He wanted to drop her off at her mother's quickly so he could rush to meet Malika. Talia asked Mustafa to go out and get her bags.
Mustafa, I'm pregnant and tired. Could you please get the bags?
Oh, come on, handle it yourself and go talk to the doorman to get them.
He wanted to hurry to meet Malika without being late for his plans with his friends, Haytham and Mazen. Mustafa's words greatly upset Talia, and she became very surprised by his behavior towards her. Mustafa calls his friends to coordinate their cover story if Talia called them to ask about Mustafa, and they agreed. They try to find out who he's meeting, but he refuses to tell them anything about it. Mustafa hurried to the restaurant. There was slight acceptable delay, but what bothered Mustafa was that Malika hadn't eaten since morning. He felt some empathy towards her. It seemed like a new challenge. Malika decided to order exactly the same food Mustafa was having, saying he could order as he pleased. Within a few minutes, the waiter placed the dishes on the table: hot creamy pasta with white sauce, a well-done steak with a variety of salads, and of course, some French fries. While they were having lunch, Malika asked Mustafa if he was happy with her or not.
Are you happy with me?
She expressed her fear that their experience might turn out to be like his experience with Talia. However, Mustafa reassured her, telling her that he loves her and can't imagine life without her.
Don't worry, Malika. I love you, and I can't imagine my life without you. You understand me and comfort me without me even needing to speak. Talia's completely different. You and I, we have something special, and we should get married soon. It's just a matter of time.
Look, Mustafa, my ex-husband kept objecting to my clothing choices, even asking me to cut ties with my male friends. I couldn't tolerate the suffocation and divorced him. However, you seem different. You never ask questions about who I talk to, nor object to how I dress or look.
I'm not bothered about those things much, and I don't find your attire strange enough to draw my attention. Don't dwell on the past. And both of us have learned from our previous failed relationships, which will only bring us closer together. Look, Malika, I have an idea. How about we spend the days that Talia will spend at her mother's together going out?
Okay, no problem.
After this conversation, Mustafa picks up his phone.
Mustafa, I tried calling you multiple times. Forget it. Just pick up the baby items I ordered.
Okay, I'll deal with that. Bye.
After he hung up the phone, Malika said,
Don't worry, Mustafa. All the stress you're going through will end soon. When we get married.
I can't wait for that. Oh, and by the way, there's something important we need to be careful about. We need to be cautious about our interactions at work. Because sometimes I feel Ahmed is paying attention to us.
Okay, don't worry.
Things are going well. Everything is in order. Mustafa feels that after Talia went to her mother's place, he has regained a part of his stolen life. He eats, drinks, sleeps, wakes up and talks on the phone freely. He is completely at ease. Additionally, he has agreed with his friends Haytham and Mazen to attend a party hosted by Bakinam, Mazen's friend, at her villa tomorrow. All their friends will be there. Happiness overwhelms Mustafa as he thinks about how the day will unfold. But more importantly than work, he needs to manage his affairs. Tomorrow night, both Talia and Malika need to be considered off for him. The tension and anxiety increased within Talia. Possibly because its childbirth was nearing, or Mustafa's fluctuating mood was affecting her. A combination of factors had left her feeling somewhat depressed. Talia called her friend Salma on the phone to vent. She complained about Mustafa. Salma offered to talk to Mustafa on Talia's behalf, but Talia refused, fearing it would escalate matters and lead to more conflicts between them. And then, Talia decided to give Mustafa a chance until after the childbirth. If he remained as he was, she would decide how to proceed. The time has come. Everything is fine. Mustafa feels he has sorted out everything behind him to see how he is now. All that's left is to find out the location of the party. And after a while, Mazen sends him the location. Mustafa arrives at the location Mazen sent him to, and while on the way, he spent a few minutes with his love Malika. Haytham and Mazen have already arrived and are waiting inside. Mazen introduces Mustafa and Haytham to his girlfriend Pakinam and her friend Dina. The scene is filled with dancing, laughter, and enjoyment. Everyone is mingling easily as if they have known each other for a long time. People here seem familiar with each other. After a while, Mustafa and his friends start to blend in with the atmosphere, joining others in dancing to the lively music. Amid the integration, Dina approaches Mustafa, and it seems he has caught her attention. She offers him a weed cigarette, and Mustafa, looking surprised, takes it from her and lights it immediately. After a while, Mustafa starts feeling that his mind is drifting somewhere else and he can't see clearly ahead. His friends notice this and decide to take him home. Mazen offers to accompany him, but Mustafa reassures him that he will go straight to bed. Mustafa struggles to open the apartment door, unable to see properly and stumbling left and right, until he finally collapses into a deep sleep. Suddenly, Mustafa finds himself inside a large, traditional Saidi courtyard house consisting of two interconnected floors with a wooden staircase. The chairs are made of Arabesque style, and in the center, there is a large, intricately designed brass tray shimmering. The Saidi jalabiya is the formal attire of the place. Suddenly, Mustafa meets his uncle, Haj Dahshuri, who enters the room and tells him,
Look, my son, I have chosen you to be the head of the Farauda family and the leader of the entire village after me. And I am planning to seize the joy of my daughter's upcoming engagement to announce this news to all the people of the village. I'm warning you about the Sahahna family, eagerly awaiting my death, so their eldest could take over.
After his uncle left, Mustafa began pondering his new responsibilities. At that moment, Talia entered the room and noticed he was lost in thought and burden. She asked him,
What's wrong, Mustafa, my husband?
Mustafa began telling her everything his uncle Haj Dahshuri had said to him. Talia was overjoyed upon hearing this news.
The head of the Farauda family.
Talia tried to change the subject to lift Mustafa's mood, suggesting he come and enjoy the hearty traditional food she had prepared with her own hands. It consisted of shalawlah and ducks and sli'a, which are rich and delicious Upper Egyptian dishes. Despite his newfound responsibilities, Mustafa was inwardly happy. Who would have thought he would become the elder? Minutes passed where he felt joyous. After finishing his meal, Mustafa went downstairs and met Talia, his cousin. Congratulations, my cousin! Everyone in the village knew the news. Congratulations! Look, my cousin, and listen to me well. To truly become the elder, you need to surpass the leader of Sahahna family, known for his immense strength, as everyone in the village attested. The next day, everyone prepared for the celebration. Talia dressed in the traditional attire of Upper Egypt, the galabiya, imama, and milhafa, which are worn on important occasions. Mustafa entered the festivities and stood beside his uncle Haj Dahshuri, who took the microphone and announced,
Attention, everybody! My nephew Mustafa has become the elder of the Farauda and the village.
Haj Dahshuri felt immense pride in Mustafa. He had devoted his life to educating him for this moment. Indeed, Mustafa's education had sharpened his mind and enabled him to win the challenge against Big Awad. However, what happened to Big Awad, the elder of the Sahahna family, wouldn't pass lightly. After being humiliated in front of the entire village, he decided to seek revenge on Mustafa and shoot him.
Ah! Thank God! I'm still alive! I'm still alive!
Mustafa gasped and startled, feeling that his pants were wet. After catching his breath, he found himself lying on the couch. It was 1 p.m. Work had slipped away today. Despite his disorientation, he managed to prepare a cup of coffee. After a couple of sips, he held the phone looking at it.
Oh no, not now!
See you in the next part of Excessive Petting. Voice acting Adham RB, Mariam Hani. Translation Adham Mahmoud. Editing Mariam Hani. Art direction Ali Saeed. Sound engineering Tamer Yahya. International distribution Sandos Tamer. General supervision Wael Atta. Production manager Rasha Yahya. Narrating and directing Khalid Mahgoob. Best regards with Pandarosh.